All right. Good morning. As we're here live together, or if you're watching the recording soon after, it is really fall now. And today the moon is in Virgo. Virgo rules the belly in the body. And so I was inspired by that to have us do a yogi abs practice to warm up the belly. We'll take care of the whole body. We'll just bring a little extra loving attention to our trunk muscles. I don't like using the word core because nobody actually knows where that is and what that is and how to engage it. So I'll try to be more specific as we move through our practice today. But hopefully what this does is help warm you up from your core, meaning like your internal fire core center, so that you can stay warm no matter what the outdoor temperatures are throughout your day. So if you have a blanket and a block, and or a block, those might come in handy later. And this is your practice. So enjoy whatever does feel interesting, helpful, challenging in a good way, and skip the rest. I'm going to move to my mat and I'll start guiding from the back. So if you would like to use your blanket underneath your back, like for me, I have a wood floor and then my yoga mat. Sometimes that's just not enough softness, especially in the cooler months. So if you want to unfold your blanket so that your back is underneath that, that can just give some extra comfort, warmth. And if you're transitioning onto your back like I am, take some time to really enjoy the transition, stretch, squeeze. Oh, yawn. And look around your space. Sometimes it's not very often that you might be lying on your back and looking up at your room, looking out the window from this angle. And then spend a few moments touching in, connecting inside. And if the hands help you do that, you can touch in anywhere. Notice what it feels like to have the back body and any other parts of you that you feel connection with the earth. What does it feel like to breathe today or right now? And what, if any, thoughts, images, or desires are emerging for you as you rest here for a few moments? Are there any sensations or parts of your body that you're particularly aware of? Is there anything that you want to say thank you for, express gratitude, or simple appreciation for anything in your life? Feel free to linger, excuse me, feel free to linger here for as long as you'd like. If you're ready to start moving, maybe start by stretching the whole body on the ground in whatever way feels good. If you like, interlace your fingers and press your palms away from you, stretching the underside of the arm, maybe even point or flex the toes so you get some sensation down through the legs. And then gather in your knees towards your chest, hug them in tight, and maybe draw your nose up towards the knees, squeezing your belly muscles ever so slightly here. Beautiful. And then stretch out long again on the floor, full body stretch, your choice if you want to flip the palms like you did a moment ago. Get really, really long. Can you feel the skin on the front body stretching? And then draw the knees in towards your chest, squeeze, and bring your nose any closer to your knees that you like. Nice. One more time with that rhythm. Stretch, get long. And then squeeze, pull in. Then rest your head and your feet down on the floor. Let the feet go wide like your yoga mat. Maybe your arms come out wide across the floor. And swish the knees a few times from left to right. Waking up the spine with twists back and forth a few times. You're in charge and in choice always. So you decide the pace and the size of your movements and whether or not you even do the movements. After a few twists back and forth, bring your feet firm onto the mat, maybe even a little closer so they're about hip or shoulder width distance. And bring your hands to the low belly near your groin area, just to bring some awareness to that part of you. And you might also notice, maybe even take one of your hands, that there's perhaps a little bit of space between your low back and the floor. Depending on you and your body, it might be a lot and it might be a little. But we're going to play with waking up the spine with a cat-cow, but we're on our back. So that space is going to change, but we'll still be close to the ground. So start to arch away from the floor. So keep your low back, your sacrum, so your buttocks are on the floor, but your low back is now arched a little bit away from the ground. Your belly button might point towards your knees, and then draw your belly button in and flatten out the back a little bit, maybe even firm up the belly muscles as you do so. And arch away again, tip your pelvis forward, and then pull the belly in, tip your pelvis back. So it's like a cat-cow. You might imagine that we're on our hands and knees and you're arching and rounding, except the rounding is limited by the floor behind you. Nice. Perhaps try one or two more rounds. And the next time you're feeling your back more firmly against the ground, use your belly muscles to kind of wrap, almost the side waist muscles wrap around to pull in slightly so that you can lift your feet and shins come to about parallel. Bring your arms again out across the mat like a T, and then let your knees fall together any amount to the left. It could be a few inches. For some of you, it could be a little bit more. Now we're feeling a little bit like we're doing a twist. If you want, you can touch the knees down, but if not, you want to kind of keep them more active. You can hover the knees any amount off the floor there, and then use your arms and your belly muscles to help yourself back up through the center and a little bit off to the right now. So you decide how far you want to go. If you want to touch down, it'll feel like a nice rest for a moment, and then press into the floor with your arms, use your belly muscles, and bring yourself back up. So this could be a really sweet little wiggle kind of side to side, which wakes up the side waist muscles, or you can go a little bit more deeply to one side or the other. And remember, it doesn't have to look the same on both sides. Maybe your body has had a different life experience on the left then the right. All right, I'm gonna do one more to each side. Remember, you don't have to wait for me. You can stop before then, or you can continue a little longer. All right, and then draw the knees in towards your chest. Let your belly muscles relax here. Maybe even slide the hands to the backs of the knees and let the knees fall wide into your arms. Dead bug or upside down happy baby. Draw your right knee in close now and extend your left leg down along the floor. Wind relieving pose. And then switch. Draw in your left knee, extend the right one. And then switch again, draw in the right knee. Option to stay right here in wind relieving pose, or maybe walk your right hand up to the outside of your foot if it's within reach for half happy baby shape. What does it feel like to breathe right now? And switch to the other side. So release the right foot down, bring the left knee up into your chest, wind relieving pose. Or start to walk the left hand up to the outside of your left foot for half happy baby on the other side. And then release that leg down. Maybe you give yourself another full body stretch here. Do one more thing here on our backs before we come on up. Draw your knees in. Actually, let your feet come down to the floor, like constructive rest. Beautiful. And now lift just your right foot a few inches off the floor. Take your right hand onto the thigh and start to resist. So the knee is trying to come towards your chest, but the hand is trying to push it away. So you're creating a little bit of tension and maybe some engagement in the belly. For me, I like to do this with my head lifted slightly, but if you want, you can keep your head down or on a pillow. And then resist. You decide how much resistance, but keep the knee moving towards your face. Keep the hand moving away. Beautiful. And then rest down. Whew, and we'll try the other side. Are you feeling some feelings? So now your left knee is imagining it's going to move towards your chest. Your left hand, same side, is going to press away. Engage the belly muscles here to make that possible. You decide your level of enthusiasm. And if you'd rather hold the back of your head with your other hand for support, that's another nice choice you can make. It's not a competition, so you decide when you've had enough. Slowly lower down. Now something a little bit different. Bring the right knee in, first side. Grab the back of the thigh and interlace the fingers there if possible. Now you're going to try to move the knee out away from you, which means the arms will straighten, right? So as your arms start to straighten and your leg almost pulls your whole head and chest up off the ground, you're engaged here, but in a different way. Now keep that leg trying to move out. Your arms are nice and straight, and then straighten your left leg, the other one, hover it about an inch or two off the ground, almost like a little bicycle feeling. Nice. And then switch. So bring the left knee in, extend the right leg, grab the back of the knee and press the back of the thigh into the hand. So the arms straighten. There's forward action as your left leg tries to reach towards straight. Hover the right leg any amount off the floor. And if it ever becomes too much, lower the heel down or lower the leg down or lower the foot down. All of those are great choices. And then let's go back and forth a few times, like a variation on a bicycle. But each time you grab the back of one of your thighs, press the thigh into the hands, engage to help you lift, switch legs, grab on. Arms will straighten as a result of the leg that you're holding pushing forward. My hope is that this helps to engage a little bit more or create a little bit more awareness of the lower belly muscles. And when you've had enough fun, go ahead and rest down. Draw your knees in, but roll over to your right side now into like a relaxed position. And then with your left arm, reach up and open to twist here in a slightly different manner. And then go back the way you came. So curl up on your right side and then switch sides, roll to your left in that curled up position. Reach your right arm up and over to twist other side. So maybe like me, you feel this more in the thoracic, the mid back, creating spaciousness. Also for the side waist muscles. All right, now roll over back the way you came and then come all the way around onto your belly. If being on the belly is not for you today, you can skip this part. We won't be here for very long. And take a moment first to settle and enjoy and feel, hopefully, the nice softness of your blanket underneath your belly. What does it feel like to breathe right now with your belly on the ground? And then slide your hands underneath your shoulders, press up to tabletop, and slide your hips back any amount towards child's pose. Enjoy a moment here. Beautiful. When you're ready, come up onto hands and knees. I'm going to slide my blanket sideways so that it's really just patting my knees now, and my hands and feet are free to be on the mat. Enjoy some time circling the hips, rocking back and forth, or maybe now that the back is free to curl into cat, enjoy a little cat-cow from hands and knees. Then step your right foot forward outside of your pinky finger. So your hands are kind of inside. And this is where, if you have a block, sometimes they're handy. But in a moment, I'll encourage you to be hands on the floor as an option. So just see what feels possible. And if you'd like the blocks, bring the blocks. If you don't like them, see if the hands rest firm on the floor. From here, you can stay for a moment, or you can curl your left toes under, the ones in the back, and start to lift the knee up off the floor. Now you're in a lizard style lunge, very active shape. See if you can push the hands strong into the ground. Push the feet firm into the floor and see if instead of rounding your back and looking at your toes, you can almost lower the hips and shift the chest forward slightly. Really firm the hands into the floor. Squeeze your right knee close to your shoulder. Beautiful. And then lower your left knee down. Start to shift the hips back a little bit. And this is where blocks might come in handy again for a half split. Enjoy a moment here. And shift forward again and switch legs. So shift, so your right foot comes back. Maybe enjoy a moment with the legs reunited. And then bring the left foot forward outside of your pinky finger. So you're really wide here. And with the hands firm on the floor, you could pause right here or curl your back toes under and lift your knee. Keep the hands really firm, pressing into the ground, arms as straight as possible. Left knee now hugging in towards your shoulder. And then move the chest slightly forward, right? Instead of rounding the back, just for the sake of this little experiment here. Are you feeling some feelings? Nice. Remember, you're in charge and in choice of how much heat. When you're ready, lower your right knee down, shift your hips back, grab the blocks if they're helpful, and bow any amount over your left leg. Shift forward when you're ready to move out of that and switch sides. Now you might spend a moment here in tabletop or resting in child's pose, but some of you might want to stretch the backs of the legs in downward facing dog pose. So enjoy this transition in whatever way feels good for you. When you're ready, step your right foot forward into your lizard lunge again. Now you're welcome to lower the left knee down if you'd like, or keep it lifted and active. Press firm into the hands. We've been here before. Squeeze the right knee towards the shoulder and then really push the hands and left foot, your back foot into the ground. See if maybe you can slide or swivel your front foot now to the back for plank. If you get there and you'd rather have your knees down, trust your instincts. Trust your process. What does it feel like to breathe right now? And then your choice, lower the knees down, or maybe you lift them high in the sky with the hips for downward facing dog pose. When you're ready to explore the other side, step your left foot forward, outside your pinky finger, active, or if you want, lower the knee down, passive, lizard lunge. Really connect the hands into the floor, connect your back foot strong into the floor, push, 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 and see if your left foot now wants to come back to plank or modified plank. You decide. When is challenge interesting, helpful, fun? And at whatever point it no longer is one of those things, then please shift lower down or maybe lift up and back, downward facing dog pose. Now step your right foot straight forward in between the hands. Maybe you grab the blocks here again if you have them handy and start to straighten out your right leg for a pyramid stretch. Enjoy a moment here. If there's space, fold over the thigh. What is it like to breathe now? Beautiful. Now bend your right knee and lower your left heel down behind you. So you're getting ready to come up to warrior two pose. Maybe cartwheel your arms. If you want, straighten your leg, do a little wiggle, adjust your feet and your stance, and then bend your right knee deeply, press strong into the left heel. Side facing warrior lunge, Virabhadrasana 2. From here, start to lean forward. Maybe your right hand or your right elbow rests on your thigh. You can bring your left arm up close to your ear if it wants to join. Side angle pose, Parsvakonasana. And then play with how much weight you're holding or resting on your thigh, and see if you can lift the elbow just a little bit off the floor, off the thigh. And if having your other arm somewhere in the air just doesn't feel right to do this, that's okay. Bring it in closer, bring it down. If you want, you can reach the arm straight forward and out, and then push into the feet and come up. Warrior two. If your leg needs a break, take one, straighten it out. And then let's try that again. Maybe you bring the arms now to kind of scissor. Instead of resting the elbow on the thigh, you could bring it straight forward. Your left arm is up near the ear. Whew. Are we feeling some feelings? And then open up, stand strong in your warrior two, or take a break. Last one, bend your right knee, swivel or rest your arm down for side angle pose variation. And then press into the legs, rise up, straighten the leg, reverse triangle, touch the sky with your right hand. Beautiful. We're going to switch sides. You can do this in a number of different ways. Some of you might just want to stay standing and turn around to the other side. Some of you might want to do a moment close to the floor, resting, or active and downward facing dog. Whatever transitional moment feels right. Just your instincts. And in your own time, in your own way, make your way so that you have your left foot in front, your right leg back, lift both knees and straighten the legs out more or less for a pyramid on the other side. So now you're bowing over your other leg, your left leg. And then bend your left knee, swivel your back foot, your right foot down, and cartwheel your way up, warrior two, other side. Feel free to make any adjustments that you like. And then stand strong for a moment. Left knee deeply bent, right foot pressing down. Option to come forward now for side angle, resting the hand or the elbow on the thigh. Enjoy a moment here. Remember to honor whatever differences you feel on this side. If you like, play with lifting the elbow an inch or so off of your thigh. Maybe you reach the arm straight forward. What does it feel like to breathe now? And then press it to your feet, rise up, warrior two. Remember, you can take a break at any time. And then perhaps scissor your arms into this very heating for the belly variation of side angle pose. Whenever you want to, come on out, enjoy a moment, and then go back in. Remember, you decide how far, how long, how enthusiastic. When you're ready, open back up, and we'll do one more side angle variation on this side. And then open up, straighten your front leg, touch the sky with your left hand, reverse triangle. And then transition in whatever way that you like. Maybe you come back down closer to the floor. Maybe you step forward to forward fold. Back to downward dog. Or a little bit of all of the above, perhaps. Take as much time as you need. In your own time, make your way down to sit on your bum. I'm going to arrange the blanket again so that it can be soft under my back in a moment. Excuse me. And then draw the soles of the feet together, the knees wide. If this doesn't feel right or possible, you could have the legs extended out straight or wide angle. And for a moment here, pause, hold on to your feet or ankles, lift the chest and feel yourself proud. If you like, bow forward any amount over your legs or over your feet. And then return to your starting position, your seated position. Draw the knees in and prepare for boat pose, Navasana. Maybe your feet stay on the floor. Maybe you have your hands at the backs of your thighs. And then lean back so that you're using these belly muscles to hold your back up as strong and straight as possible. If you have a block far away from you, maybe bring it in a little closer so it's within reach. And then lean back again. Option to come up onto the tippy toes, or maybe you lift the toes and keep a hold onto the legs. Imagine your chest and your thighs are magnetically drawn towards each other. And touch down to rest at any point. For those of you who want a little extra heat, lift the hands and balance here on your sits bones. Beautiful. If you like, you can grab your block, place it between the hands. So I'm kind of squeezing, I'm not holding and gripping. And if your arms are extended and straight, it's going to be more challenging than if they're in much closer. But you can now either hold, press into the block a little bit with the arms. Ooh, just that alone did something for me. Or you can start to twist a little bit to one side. Let the block lower to your right. Excuse me, and then bring yourself back up and over to the left. Again, you could bend your elbows and bring it in close. It simply feels different. You choose the pace. If my brother were here, he would be going 3,000 miles an hour. But I think if you slow it down, you feel twice as much. That's up to you. At some point, you might be like, oh, I need a break. Let the feet come down, open the knees wide, lower the block, and enjoy a moment here. Or if you want one more chance here at Yogi Abs, you could return to your boat variation. You could have the block if you enjoy that extra challenge of simply squeezing with the hands. Or you could let the block go and start to lower yourself ever so slowly towards the ground, until you get all the way down. Roll over onto your belly and prop yourself up onto your elbows for a passive sphinx. Just stretch out the abdominals a little bit. Give a counter stretch to the back. And then lower yourself down so you can press up to hands and knees. Enjoy a moment here of wiggling, circling, or maybe curling up into cat pose. And then slide your hips back any amount, lower your elbows to the floor, and rest in your variation of child's pose for a moment. Maybe your abdominals are resting on your thighs, or maybe your thighs are wide and your belly can relax in between. Either way, can you tune into your breath rhythm and the sensations of your belly expanding and contracting with each breath? Your whole torso really expands in all directions. You're welcome to linger here a little longer. If you're ready to transition to the next part of your day, maybe come on up. Pause for a moment to sit and look around. Notice what's changed in quality of life, perhaps. And thank yourself. Thank your body. Thank your belly. Thank the part of you that showed up today, even if there was some part of you that didn't want to. I thank you so much for being part of this practice, whether you're here with me live or you're watching the recording. We're in it together. And I'll stick around for questions for those of you who are here live. If you're not and you want to leave a comment, I always love being in that conversation with you too. So have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again soon.